Hey, welcome back. Thank you again for joining me on another profitable moment. And first of all, if we haven't met, my name is Leslie Taylor, and I am the Profitability Strategist. And today I'm going to be talking about in this week's, I don't know if I should call it a vlog, because if you haven't guessed, I am slowly morphing into a podcast. So stay tuned for that to come later on this week, later on this year. But this will be morphing into ultimately a podcast. And so more details will follow. But today I'm going to be talking about the myths and misconceptions that keep you from making the money that you want to make. Basically, this episode is if someone were to ask me the question, Leslie, what do you wish small business owners knew? Leslie, what makes you just shake your head and think, okay, let me help these people out? What are the things that you keep seeing over and over? Things that small business owners believe that are just not true around their business financials, around how things work in terms of cash flow and becoming profitable. And so that's what I'm going to be talking about today, the myths and misconceptions that keep you from making the money you want to make. And so this is the second week. This is the second week in my series where I'm talking about being able to keep the money that you want to make, right? The things that keep you from making the money that you want to make as a small business owner. And why is that so important? Because all of us have a dollar amount we have a dollar amount in mind. We started these businesses, yes, because we wanted to serve, yes, because we have a passion about something, yes, to all these different reasons. But the main reason, the bottom line reason is we want to make the kind of money that we want to make, because that is paramount to us being successful and to us obviously being able to continue as businesses. So that's what I want to talk about today. And I'm excited to share these things because so many business owners think incorrectly about them. And so last week, I started this series talking about mindsets, right? I started talking about mindsets last week. So if you missed it, I highly recommend that you go back and give that one a listen. But it was all about the mindsets that keep you from making the money you want to make. And so a lot of times, and I had shared this last week, especially among entrepreneurs, when we start talking business financials, and I got a little more personal with some of you guys, some of you ladies, and shared that a lot of the ladies that I come across have anxiety, fear, even more so than the men. Like we are even less engaged with our numbers and feel very comfortable, not rightly so, handing it over to somebody and not asking questions and not really understanding. But a lot of entrepreneurs operate that way, actually. The challenge with women, and as I had shared before, is women business owners were not earning at the levels that we could be earning. And I believe that this is one of the reasons. I believe there's several reasons, but I believe that this is one of the reasons. And so let's jump into it. Let's dive into it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So this week, like I said, we're moving into another challenge that keeps many entrepreneurs from making the money that they want to make. These are common myths, a lack of understanding that's holding you back from making the most, and it can keep you making less. And if you don't want to make less, I suggest you keep listening. That's what I'm going to be talking about. First, I just want to say, just as a side note, make plans and then, let God and the universe or whoever you believe in laugh at you. So as I am recording this, I am kind of under the gun because I'm headed out of town and my computer started acting crazy. And I was like, no, I need to make this recording because I'm a little behind on some things and I'm getting caught up. But it's all good. It's all good. It's just an opportunity for us to get creative, be flexible, and be scrappy. And so this particular, I had been calling them vlogs, has morphed into just audio because, like I said earlier, this will eventually move into a podcast where I interview folks, and it will be very awesome. So let's dive into the topic. What if you were working harder than you needed because of just a lack of understanding, something that you didn't understand very well? Well, I'm going to unpack just that on today's vlog. So this vlog, this audio that you're listening to, it is basically the answer to Leslie. Out here in these entrepreneurial streets, what things do you see and hear over and over that you wish small business owners knew, that you wish entrepreneurs knew? That is what we'll be talking about today. I'm going to be talking about things that make me either shake my head or look at someone and wonder, where did you get that? But that's okay, because that's why I'm here. And as always, my environment is a no shame zone. I'm here to help educate you in a way that hopefully, it's not real heavy and it's easy for you to understand. So let's dive into the first one. The first myth and or misconception is I can earn my way to profitability, right? I can simply sell enough of my products and my services until I reach this profitable place, until I reach success. Yay! If I just work hard enough and focus on selling, that's all I need to do, right? And maybe a few other things, but that's really all I need to do. If I just focus on my clients, that's all I need from a money and financial standpoint. Just generate enough, right? There's a point that I will hit to where it will just all somehow magically work out, right? I can create new revenue streams, right? I just need more and I just need to work harder. Oh, dear heart, that is but partial truth. Don't get me wrong. You absolutely need sales. You need to break even. That means being able to cover all your expenses. Obviously, that comes first. But profitability, while it depends on sales and sales are required to have profitability, profitability is not sales and sales is not profitability. Those sales dollars aren't cash that you actually get to keep. I'm so sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but payroll, taxes, paying back debt, there's money that's earmarked for somewhere else and someone else. Now, I'm going to share an example of that and speak a little more when I get to my second point. So just hold on a second. Just because revenue is generated doesn't mean it is profitable revenue, right? Think about that. Just because you generate a lot of revenue doesn't mean that it's profitable revenue. It's really about what you get to keep. It's possible to have increasing sales and growing sales and to not be profitable or to be less and less profitable. So, one of my clients went through a time of very rapid growth. Actually, from a revenue standpoint, they were doing very, very well, extremely well, if you will. From a revenue standpoint, the cash was flowing really well into the business. Their products were in demand. However, the owner wondered why they didn't see more money in their bank account. Now, honestly, I was kind of wondering this too. The owner was working harder and harder and harder and harder, and money was flowing, and it wasn't seeming to stay in the bank account. What we realized was that the owner had created some new items. And in pricing those items, they didn't take into account how much it actually costed to provide the product, right? Not taking into account what we call margins. I know that's a new word, but margins is the level of profit or the amount that you actually get to keep, right? That's all a margin is. It just expresses how much you get to keep. Now, in the past, when this client sold similar products, they did not price as they had in the past. So these new items were less profitable, but they were selling more of them. So on the surface, it looked like they were doing great. It looked like they were doing well. There was all this activity, even more activity, but they were less profitable. They were working harder to make less. Occasionally, the client would also allow some customers to have an even deeper discount because they wanted to help folks out. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound familiar? I'm especially talking to the ladies right now, especially talking to the ladies. We have these hearts and we want to help, and not all of us, but I see it a lot, and I see it more so with the ladies. Well, I want to make it affordable and I just want to help people out. Right, but you're going to work harder and not really be able to help as many people out because you're going to be stretched and stressed and then not delivering at your best. So this made my client less profitable. So we had to make some changes, right? Because the owner found themselves working harder and making less money than they had previously. The best way of creating your most profitable business is by increasing sales revenue at a faster rate than you spend it. That's the definition of scaling that comes from Harvard Business Review. So how do you do that? By gaining a level of control and clarity over your cash flow so you can make decisions that will lead you to the outcome that you want, making the money you want to make, right? In this case, once we got clear, we made the adjustments to pricing and the owner was able to breathe again and get back on the right path. All right, myth and misconception number 2. My bank account tells me all I need to know. Last October, and I'm doing this vlog in 2022, in the summer of 2022. Last October, I completed my 4th webinar for SCORE. SCORE is the nation's largest support organization for entrepreneurs. And there I taught on topics that entrepreneurs, need to understand about their business financials. So at the end, we have great questions and conversations among the group of small business owners, most of which were in their first 5 years of business. Now, when I teach, I like to do polls. And I always ask this question: how do you currently measure profitability in your business? It sounds like a simple question, but as you can guess, it's not that simple because I'm going somewhere with this. The response was that 88% of the attendees really did not know whether their businesses were profitable. 88%. This number was not a surprise to me as it was in line with similar polls that I had done in the past. 50% of these business owners said they weren't measuring profitability at all or were using a bank account to measure profitability. You might be thinking, okay, what's wrong with checking cash in my account? Because cash is king, right? Cash is king, and it's good to check your account. I'm not going to tell you not to check your account. It is a good idea. However, in terms of measuring actual profitability, again, profitability is like having money left over, like how much you get to actually keep. That's really all that matters. A bank account is not the best place to go, and here's why. All the money in your business's bank account does not belong to you. Some of it belongs to Uncle Sam, QuickBooks, your material or ingredient suppliers, your Google Workspace or Office 365 subscription, among other folks. 38% of business owners that I polled in this particular webinar used a P&L statement and their bank account to measure profitability. Now, that's a little better, right? Only slightly. We still haven't paid Visa or those business loans. And if you put people on payment plans, that is money that you haven't received either that's not fully getting accounted well, in terms of your, just looking at the P&L. It can be deceiving. So also, did you take any owner's distributions? That is, withdrawing money from your business bank account or commingling. That's a whole nother term, where you were just taking money out at random. Those are called owner's distributions. So I say all this to say the P&L is not enough because it doesn't account for these items. It doesn't tell the whole story. This is the reason I teach a course on understanding financial statements. Without 3 financial statements, you have an incomplete picture of what is going on. And you may have spent 12 full months working your tail off, missing sleep, managing the ups and downs emotionally and spiritually of running your business in a pandemic. We've been through that. Only to wait before you actually know how your business did and whether or not it was really profitable. Just because cash is flowing, it means nothing. So, that's another misconception. Have 3 financial statements. 3 financial statements. Those 3 financial statements are a balance sheet, a statement of cash flows, and of course, a P&L, which is also called an income statement or a profit and loss statement. All right, so here is my next number 3 misconception. I can let somebody else handle all that while I just run my business, right? This is the financial autopilot misconception. This one, I think, is a common misconception based honestly on some things that I talked about in my last live mindsets that I did last week. It can be intentional or unintentional if you're, avoiding, right? Just because we don't have expertise in an area does not mean that we need to give over total control in that area. Especially, like I said last week, this is the very thing that we say, it's the very thing that we say that we want, right? But it doesn't make sense to entrust it totally and wholly without any understanding, any engagement, if that thing is critical to us reaching the actual goal, right? And the thing that we say we really want is a business that makes good money, a business that is profitable. But then if we're not engaging much with the numbers, how do we expect that to just happen? So again, it's about making the kind of money you want to make. Sure, serving is the goal of a business, meeting a need, but the other critical goal is to make money. Consider whether you feel it's wise to take this approach as a CEO. I'll wait. Yeah. Even if you have someone who's helping you to understand what's going on financially and help you make the important strategic decisions, it is important to be able to have an intelligent dialogue with that person and to be able to ask questions so you walk away with the best possible outcomes. Help them help you, help yourself. I always encourage education. One of the things that I remember that Oprah shared years ago when she met with a celebrity who had lost a lot of money financially because they weren't paying attention to where their money was. She said, I always know where my money is. Money advice from Oprah. I think we should all follow. All right, last one here. Number 4. This is the last myth and misconception. If I hire a specific title, I'm covered. I'm covered. Maybe. Maybe. I suggest you focus on what they're going to do to support your business versus their title. So many people get caught up in, is it a CPA, is it an accountant, is it a bookkeeper, Imagine that you are the Coca-Cola company or Chipotle or any large company employer for that matter. You need someone to perform a specific role and duties, a set of tasks, let's do that again, tasks, thank you, with deliverables. This is and should be the focus. This is how you want to hire in any part of your business. You know this. And if you don't know what to look for and those roles, what those roles need to look like, what the deliverables should be, you definitely need a copy of my free guide. Also, ask for services that will help you save money, make money, and grow. Ask them for those services. What services do you have that are going to help me do these things? All right. Now, I talked a little bit about that free guide, so let's get in there. If you enjoyed what you've heard here and you'd like some additional tips to help your business be better or to help you be better in business, you must get a copy of my free guide to learn how to stop the money leaks in your business. And it's called How to Stop the Money Leaks in Your Business, the 5 money-related mistakes entrepreneurs make and how to fix them. In it, I share the top 5 mistakes entrepreneurs make that keep them from realizing their full profitable potential. And this is also where I start with my new clients. So you need to get a copy of the guide by clicking the links below. Now, point number 3 is actually the point that you are going to want to look at that's going to guide you to what those deliverables and those tasks should be. So out of the 5 points that I make in this guide, point number 3 is the one you'll want to look for if you have those questions. So go now, scroll down, click the link, get the guide. You're welcome. And that's all for today. Until next time, I'm Leslie Taylor, and this was your Profitable Moment. Bye for now.